Well, welcome to the second annual Blue Crab Fishing Tournament, hosted by More Development Companies. We're gonna get some couple footage going out. We're about to see how these cats fish today. And so, it's gonna be a fun day. You know how we do. We're gonna get some film, talk a little bit of ish, and do a little bit of fishing.
Yo, what's good? It's your boy Low, man, and we are here for another podcast, episode 3, but we in a little different location today.
We shooting from Shaggy's in Pasco Strand, where we hosted our second annual Blue Crab Fishing Tournament, brought to you by More Development Companies out of Biloxi, Mississippi. So,
hey man, it's a great day. It's beautiful out here. Beautiful day on the Gulf Coast.
Oh man, we got some great shots. Real nice day on a Wednesday day to be out here and basically shooting beef footage, get to talk a little ish and get to eat a little fish.
Now, Winston, tell us, why are we here today? How did this begin? Talk to us.
Well, we last year we wanted to put together basically a fraternization type ordeal, mingling type ordeal that allows us to be able to come together as far as businesses and on various different outlets within the state, and bring in some important people to eventually have fun, relax, kick back a little bit, but also talk about how we can push forth to be able to better our state and better businesses in the state.
Let's see if we can get who's coming in, man. I see some gentlemen coming in now.
We got my buddy Josh. Borrow you for a minute, Josh.
Come on, Josh.
Come on, Josh. You're gonna be the one to take us kayaking, canoeing.
Come on in the hot seat, brother.
So it's a good buddy of mine, actually co-worker of Homes and More, actually one part owner. So what we looking to do, Josh? White activities. So one of the white activities is kayaking.
Kayaking. Would you take us kayaking?
Hell yeah, I'll take y'all kayaking. You let me know when and the time. We good.
Josh is from Monticello, so he's a Mississippi, but he just a little north of us, and he don't mess with the moccasins. So, but no, we had a very, very good crew today, and we're gonna be bringing you different people, from all parts. Not too many blacks. We're the only two you're gonna see is us on this podcast.
Lightly peppered.
Lightly peppered.
Come on, Josh.
I like my people like I like my fish blackened. They're right, Charlie.
All right, so let's talk about how do you feel you guys did today?
Oh, we're doing good. We're bringing home the trophies today, no doubt in my mind.
Me and Josh was on the same boat last year, and we got mollywopped.
Hey.
We thought we did great until we got in.
We brought in 30 pounds, and everybody else brought in 130 pounds, so we got them this year.
How y'all do today?
We caught a couple big reds, good,
I think y'all won. I don't think that we,
triple tails?
No triple tails.
See, this the boat that we couldn't find. They was in their hidden spot.
Y'all tucked off. We did a lot of skirting trying to find y'all out there. Who was navigating?
Oh, Skinner's his name. I don't know his real name, but Skinner's what he goes by.
Oh, Skinner.
So
we got Cy over here. We're over here with, we got my insurance man, Cy. So we're doing a live podcast, Mr. Cy. Introduce yourself.
Hey, Cy Easterling, Cadence Insurance. How are y'all?
We're doing good.
Good.
So tell us a little bit background about what you do, Cy.
Man, put me on the spot, huh? So I do employee benefits insurance. Anything involved in a benefits package, medical, dental, vision, life, disability, all that. We take care of that for y'all. We set up employers, businesses, counties, cities.
And Cy does do our insurance. So tell us, what can they find you at if they're looking for insurance?
Yeah, man. So give me a call. My number is 601-850-9717. We're Cadence Insurance. My email is cy.easterling@cadenceinsurance.com. That's sy.easterling.
Now, Cy, let me ask you something real quick, because a lot of times people will forego insurance because they say it's too much every month. What do you say to that?
Man, we haven't. Which one you want? This? Man, we hear that happen all the time. Insurance is expensive. And I think we have a healthcare problem, and insurance gets blamed for the healthcare problem. So I don't ever recommend going without insurance, and that's not a selfish thing. But man, we see some really, really bad stuff. Man, some things can happen to you. You go out on the boat, you leave out of here, man. Something could happen just like that. and you want to make sure that you're taken care of. So
now do your very, 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 very important to me.
Yeah.
Because as an individual that's getting older now.
Come on, sit down.
Wait,
oh man, I'm getting on the hot
go
seat
ahead.
here.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're on the hot seat.
Yeah.
So, getting back to it, if it's someone that is in a different earning bracket, what would you say to them if they don't know how to get the information to find out what can accommodate their earning bracket?
Yeah, so the Affordable Care Act, when that was passed in 2013, changed the game, right? So there was a mandate that you had to get insurance. There were a lot of people that never had insurance that all of a sudden had to get insurance, right? So the laws have since changed, but there's an exchange out there. There's a way for you to get insurance. If you make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, there's a way for you to get insurance and get it paid for. And I think people need to know that. They can go to healthcare.gov, find an individual plan, and maybe get some money to help pay for that plan. So outside of working for your employer, which used to be the only way to get insurance, right? You work for somebody, they give you insurance, that's the only way you can get it. Now you can go to healthcare.gov, there's other individual products. So there's a way to get it. Just reach out to us, we can help you.
All right, introduce yourself.
My name is Lincoln Allen. I work with Cadence Insurance. Been born and raised here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Yep.
Now, so I said you were the person I needed to talk to because I asked him, I'm in the creative field and industry, and a lot of creatives do not have coverage over all this gear and things that they purchase. How easy is it for them to get coverage?
It's pretty easy for your equipment and whatever. I know it's mobile, so you're going to bring it wherever you go. So basically, you can have it as an equipment policy, or you can have it as your contents. Just depends on what you want to do.
Now, let me ask you this, because is there a certain amount of coverage that you have to, or gear that you have to have before you can get a policy, or does it start very small?
It starts very small. You can probably have $1,000 worth. If we put it on an equipment policy, it's being mobile and whatnot. It probably starts a little bit higher than you would as a contents. And basically, a contents coverage is if you've got this equipment in a certain location.
Yeah.
So if you have a studio, so to speak, and you've got all this equipment in a certain location, then the
policy's a little bit more.
Yeah.
So listen, that was a gem that you got here on the podcast, because invest in you a studio. Now, the studio can be space at my house, in my home, if it's a home, if I make it a business, or what makes it an actual studio?
So, from a commercial standpoint, you actually have to have a commercial location. Now, there is probably from a homeowner's standpoint, that's not really what I dabble in, but from a homeowner standpoint, there are different riders that you can have in your homeowner's policy that'll cover your business equipment, or if you have an office basically that you're out of your house, there's different riders that you can have on your homeowner's policy that'll cover that.
So if I'm working out of the home, I need to speak to my home agent.
That's correct.
For that.
Correct.
Now, if I go out into town, let's say downtown OS, and I secure a place, or Howard Avenue, and I have an office here, that I can come see you about.
Absolutely.
How long does it take for us to get a policy going?
Right now it just depends. It probably takes, depending on how, it's pretty quick for equipment and contents coverage. If you're getting into the larger deals with the buildings and everything, it takes a little bit longer. Just underwriting's it's just a mess.
It's tedious.
Yeah, property market's just a mess right now.
So for somebody watching, what all would I need to provide you for coverage? Serial numbers, receipts, what?
From an equipment standpoint, if we put it on an equipment standpoint, they have to have some way to identify the equipment.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, but from a property standpoint, of course, we have to have the year of construction, any updates, what's been done to the building, the type of construction the building is, just details about the building in general. And it goes in pretty depth about, when the roof was replaced, that kind of thing. So it's a lot of factors do take place when you start getting into your own office, but they'll have to know all that information. location for sure.
Now, let me ask you this. What would you say, why is insurance so important? Like, in your words, why do you feel like, this is something I can dedicate my life to helping people? What's the real
the
meat behind it?
Is, man, you got to take care of people. So I feel like in my position and where I'm at, like I'm not selling. Like, I'm here to help you. There's one thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to mess your business up. And I look and I kind of weigh it on my shoulders, like this is their livelihood. So now it's on your shoulders to make sure that if something happens, they can get back up and running and make their living. So that's how I look at it.
Anybody else in the hot seat?
We got Ryan with Rev, CBD, and now cannabis. Dispensary by Rev is the name of his his cannabis store. But I'm gonna let him introduce himself and tell you a little bit about who he is, what he does, why he's here, and where you can find it.
No samples?
No samples.
Wish we could have brought some samples.
Not virgin samples.
So my name is Ryan Bennett. I'm the president of Rev and the Dispensary by Rev, both the hemp dispensary chain and a medical dispensary chain. We got locations in Tupelo, Hattiesburg, Meridian, and Ocean Springs.
Okay, and I know that you have some CBD stores. You kind of, lateraled your way into the cannabis space. Tell me, what was your peak interest, and what would you like you see this program to do as far as on the state level?
On a state level, I think the first thing is making sure that everybody that needs cannabis can get cannabis. I think the state, made some positive moves in the last round of amendments. I'd like to see that to continue. Maybe add some conditions to the list, because there are a lot of people out there that really want it and believe in it and just don't qualify just yet. And just so far, we've opened both our dispensaries in the past month, and just the stories that we've heard from our patients already of how much it's helped them, it just makes you a big believer. Whether you were or not to begin with, it makes you a huge believer seeing that.
On a level, I know the patience is a key component. That's what drives this program. We're both, in the program, as one is cultivation, one is a dispensary. But on the level of a dispensary, if somebody that's trying to get into the business, what are some hurdles and some pros and cons in which you would like to, bring light to, if I'm starting to get into a dispensary side?
As far as a patient or as a business owner?
Business owner.
Well, the first thing is the fees, having to pay the fees before the market's ready to go. That's a little tough. We're coming up on having to renew our licenses, our yearly license a month after we open.
Yeah.
So it's like paying two mortgages at once.
Never living in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a little difficult. I will say that a lot of the difficulties that existed at the beginning have kind of been ironed out, honestly. We kind of waited a little while, basically because of the patient count. It was really low. Like I said, I think they fixed some of that, which has really helped. We're seeing an extra 700-800 patients every week now. And that's been going on for a couple of months, which is great, especially when we started with 1,800.
What's the current patient count right now?
I believe it's around 17,000, 18,000. The last time I checked was a couple of weeks ago. It was a couple thousand less than that. But like I said, we've been gaining close to 1,000 a week. So if that holds true, that should be where we're at right now.
So we just hit the halfway mark of 2023. We were talking earlier about how fast Mississippi is developing. What are some of your goals for the remaining part of this year with your business? What would you like to see by the end of this year?
Well, I think the first thing is nailing down what we're doing currently and making sure that we're perfecting our business model. We've been working on our business model for 3 years. I mean, we've had hemp dispensaries since January of 2020, right? So we were prepared. But with any new business, when you open, you come across challenges, and I think we've faced challenges and we've responded very well to them, I feel like. So just, trying to see what all the challenges are going to be, work through those, and then it's going to be growth mode from there.
Okay, I seen your dispensary. I didn't get to go. I got an invite. I sent representation. I do want to apologize.
Come on, Winston, you got to do better, man.
I do have to do better. I do have. I had a dire need, but one thing about it though, it's a well thought out, well laid out store from the Hattiesburg location that I've seen. And with that being said, what separates you from other dispensaries, and what do you want to focus on being able to bring to this market that you think is vital?
Well, I think one of the biggest things is when you're dealing with a medical market and patients, they really need your help in explaining how this works. They need your consultations. And I think one thing that sets us apart is we spend as much time as necessary to make sure that when they come in, they get what they need and they're comfortable when they walk out. We provide service after the sale, so every week we're letting them know how many units they have, because most people, they only have so many units, and it's a little confusing to patients. So we make sure they're aware of how the units work, how many units they have, when their units reset, any products that they purchase with us, we do, after the sale callbacks and make sure that everything's working for them. So that's really the customer service aspect is one thing that really truly sets us apart. I've been in several dispensaries myself, and I think that the truly caring about your patients, that's really what sets us apart.
Mr. Yancey, can you please tell us about who you are and what you do and how significant you are in this state?
I'm not that significant, but I serve in the Mississippi House of Representatives from District 74. I'm chairman of the Drug Policy Committee in the House and handled all the medical cannabis legislation in the 2022 session, and then this year, 2023 session, we did all the tweaks to the bill, which made topicals be available for sale to everyone, provided that all things made legal by the 2018 Farm Bill could be sold in dispensaries as well. So it's good to see our program beginning to grow. We're up to about 14,000 patients now. We're like at 5,000 or 6,000 only 2 months ago, so it's really skyrocketing, going up.
So, yes, sir. So, I want you to just elaborate a little more on the topical aspect. We ain't gonna dive deep into it, but more so, as far as you said, open that up for everybody to have access to the topicals. Is that CBD only, or is that including THC?
That includes THC, and our supposition was that if you don't get high from doing it, why shouldn't everybody be able to do it? If you're using a hand cream for pain, arthritis pain, and you're not getting high, then you shouldn't have to have a card to have access to that. If THC in a hand cream or an ointment provides relief to people, then that should be available to the general public.
Understood.
I want to ask you a question, because a lot of times now, when you're developing new frontier for the state, everybody speculates. One thing that I know I see often is that people wonder why it takes so long to get things passed. Can you give us a little insight into why it's so important to make sure that you guys are building laws and regulations that protect us from ourselves sometimes?
So you've heard the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Yes, sir.
Goldilocks gets into their house and she gets in Papa Bear's bed and it's too big. And she gets in Mama Bear's bed and it's too small. But she gets in Baby Bear's bed and it's just right.
Just right.
We were looking for that Goldilocks bill that would be just right for Mississippi, because there were people who were for full-blown recreational cannabis use, and there are people who are totally against it. So somewhere in the middle, we know that 74% of the population voted for a type of medical cannabis program, and we know that there were many, many people who wanted there to be a medical cannabis program, but they wanted it to have regulations and not to be abused, and there was a fear that our state might be like some of the stereotypical states out west, like Oklahoma, California, where it's kind of the wild, wild west in the cannabis world. Yeah. And you can't walk down the street without smelling it and having all kinds of problems associated with it. So with our bill, we made sure that we had a seed-to-sale tracking program. We made sure that there were certain debilitating conditions that a person had to have in order to qualify for a card. We thought that the process was taking too long for people to get a card, so this year we reduced that time from 30 days down to 10 days for the Department of Health to process an application. We also made it possible for the medical practitioner to to help the person enroll while they were there for their visit, rather than them having to figure that out on their own. So those kinds of things kind of streamline the registration application process, and hopefully will again aid in the patient count getting up to sustainability for the businesses that have come here and all of the investors who have risked their assets in order to make this available to the public.
Now, do you, and I want to ask because some people don't understand when you say recreational, does that mean where we could be a state that has THC or like full-blown marijuana use in some sort of capacity in the open without, penalty?
So there are 18 states who have done that thus far. I believe maybe they're at 19 or 20 now, but I think there is a fear that some people have that people would just walk down the street smoking a joint.
Yeah.
Be out at a public place,
Where children may be.
And they're afraid of the packaging of the gummies to target children, and so they just wanted regulations on it and wanted those who use medical cannabis to be doing so for a specific medical condition, more than likely in place of some kind of opioid alternative.
Right.
And so what we are trying to accomplish with this legislation is to move people away from those dangerous opioids to a safer medical cannabis.
Gotcha.
Where you going? Golly.
Okay.
That's what happens when you cool. You can't stop. You got no brakes.
Yes, sir.
Man, ice skating on wood. Let me tell you a little bit about Nick. I found Nick in a basket in the woods back when we was itty bitty. I'm lying. No, Nick is a good buddy of mine, Nick Quave. Tell him a little bit about yourself, what you do, why you're here.
So my name's Nick Quave. I man of all traits, master of none.
It's trades, not traits.
Yeah.
So he's a little slithered.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
No, I'm in the Technology business. Previous bar and nightclub business.
Now, he's the man behind the scene.
Yeah.
Give a rundown of the list of everything that you own. He's basically, he's like Monopoly man. Go ahead.
Nah, I got out of a lot of
But you owned it though, so tell me.
I did at one time. So I had several bars on the Gulf Coast. They were high volume bars. I had one in Ocean Springs called the Juke Joint that I created, and
hey,
that was a good time. Had a lot of things. Had Zeppelins in Biloxi. We did the Crest building, which is now Morgan Freeman's
Ground Zero.
So we tried to do a concept in Biloxi. It was a little bit before its time. It was kind of like a House of Blues deal, but we had a lot of good times. And just the casinos were a little bit against us at the time frame.
I was hoping you were going to turn that third floor in Crest Live into like a YouTube space.
We did do some stuff like that. So we had some podcasts, things like that. We were a little bit outside the box. It was just a little bit before its time,
Yeah, your bubble popped.
Timing was wrong, but no, he contrary to all the mess I talk about him, he is business savvy. Now, other than that, outside that, he's not a good person.
So we got to ask, what are you working on now?
So right now is my main thing that I do is in the technology business, which is basically anything but fire alarms. So that's infrastructure cabling, fiber optics, phone systems, camera systems. We do a lot of AI technology integrations. So, that's something never slows down. It's just progressively growing, So
now I have to know, in your opinion, I don't know if you're able to say this, who is providing the fastest fiber on the coast right now?
Well, right now, the government in itself has issued a whole lot of funding to build up infrastructure for all businesses. So you see power companies like Coast Electric that's never been in the fiber business.
They're getting in the fiber now, yeah.
So, realistically, what I think that they're doing is that they're used to building infrastructure. So they got this grant money and they're building infrastructure to sell to a provider like AT&T or something.
Now, how does that affect your business?
Nothing. I mean, we do the infrastructure for them. So
you the guy, they go get the guy to call the guy.
Well, I mean, like what they do is they basically have the funding, they have the project, it's built out, but they don't necessarily do that. So
Gotcha.
that's where we can come in. That's what my business does. I facilitate those type of deals.
Now, I'm gonna ask you a vital question because you know about this more than anybody. As far as the hospitality and the night, the event life, as far as the overall event space in Mississippi, what do you think that you want to see be able to come to Mississippi, especially South Mississippi? What is it lacking? What do you want to see?
So what my opinion is on things?
Yes,
Like I think that casinos in general, okay? So you go out to Vegas. So when I built the Crest building, I spent a lot of time with the co-founders of the House of Blues and Hard Rock Cafe, things like that, which is now Live Nation. It's a successful business, okay? Vegas is thriving, and it's very similar to Biloxi as far as the scale of casinos, but what's different and what doesn't work in Biloxi, which works out in Vegas, is that all the big clubs out in Vegas is leased out, and they're owned by production companies, producers, things like that. And so that's why they thrive. They change every 2-3 years because you'll have another party come in and do that. Back home in Biloxi, it's like stagnant because they don't do that. They try to operate it themselves. They don't have the means or the backing that other promoters can do and could make it be. So the casinos would advantage more if they leased the space and had guaranteed money and let different parties come in every so many years and meet these requirements. I think that would help the nightlife of Biloxi tremendously, which they don't do down here.
I remember
Vegas.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I remember pre-Katrina, this thing was jumping around here.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And tourism is growing rapidly throughout South Mississippi, throughout the state. So I think that we need. I think it's about time for a shot of oxygen, when it comes to something as far as entertainment-wise and events, especially for a certain age demographic. You've been, a young 55-year-old man in great shape.
Yeah, not that old yet.
Yeah, his birthday's actually today.
Yeah,
tomorrow. He keep bonfire. Turn 40.
Yeah.
Big 4-0.
Yeah.
I think that the biggest complaint, because we see what happened with the Hard Rock Casino. Used to own Zeppelin's, now it's the Mermaid Dive Bar, and kind of the chaos that's ensuing with this younger generation. It's kind of pushing out a lot of people that want to, deterring a lot of people that want to come out and experience nightlife or enjoy themselves. Yeah. They don't have a place to go. I think, as far as what we're looking at is, 25 on up, even 30 on up, to be able to say, dress code, certain music, things like that, be able to control that environment. What is your perspective on that as far as the current events that has happened on the South?
I mean, a lot of that is due to the business owners not regulating their stuff. Like when I had my bars and restaurants, I understand, like I told you before, too much of any crowd is bad business. Like it has to be a mixed crowd, and you have to be able to control that. So, the type of music you play, your dress code, not patting down people, you're setting yourself up for failure if you don't have these things in place. And if you have them in place, you can really regulate your venue on the clientele that comes in. So, unfortunately, the newer generation has been the problem to an extent, because they're just kind of like balls to the wall. You know what I mean? There's no where in my generation and coming up, people had a little bit of standards. You know what I mean? Like they knew better not to go just create a fist fight out in public. It's like there's no like boundaries now, so they just do whatever you want. So if you put people in a position and you are, hey, we're not going to pat anybody down, you can drink as much as you want, you can tear the club up to all night long, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Well, the thing of it is the climate is totally different. I think it comes up to two, it's just in general across the board. You know, they live for social media. They live for an instant moment. You know, no matter if it's deem a good moment or a bad moment. I think now what we're looking to see, I think everybody's basically tired of it, because the thing of it is, and you know, most people think that there's a certain code, you know, for color and things like that. It's ignorance, and this whole age group is ignorant to me. Across the board, they're ignorant to me. I think the thing of it is being able to, like you said, the music we had crunk music, but we also understood how to have a good time. When I'm looking now, these kids don't laugh, they don't dance, they do nothing. You know, they flash money and, you know, what little money.
They're all destruction, and that's it.
Yeah, there's
like, I'm not saying that's all, because there's a good portion of the new generation that isn't like that. But
most of them are introverted.
But the
They
minority,
don't come out. Yeah, they don't want to.
but the minority does speak for the majority in a lot of senses. I think, you know, man, got right here. Thank you. Is it shaking or not? I got you. Did you put your finger in it? No. All right, make sure. Hey, appreciate you. See what we got going on here?
We got some food on set right here.
Go ahead. Because you eat the fish, right?
I'm eating whatever is in front of me, except.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't tell your wife that. You know.
What are we gonna do with this guy,
He's been
man?
gone for a week, so.
Yeah.
You know, but no. But that's the thing about it. We are, like I said, we bringing business owners, we bringing people that's in the community, that's from here, that want to see, you know, the community, the state grow as a whole. And I think that, you know, Mississippi gets a very, very bad rap. I've been in a lot of different places, and people are like, why do you love it there? Because this is what I know. I wasn't born in Houston or Atlanta. I was born in Mississippi. You know, I have some great people. Nick is not one of the great people I'm talking about. He's an okay guy. No. But no. Like I said, y'all stay tuned, because we got some events. We got some more podcasting that we're going to bring. We're about to eat. You know, we've been on this involuntary fast, what I called it.
Now, I got it. We're going to need you, because we're doing this podcast. We're going to need some good fiber. Yeah. Especially on some
building, man.
Oh, that's why. That's what I said. That's why I'm saying I need him to make sure we prestige.
Pristine,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
so where can people find you online, or do you not? You know,
he's a man. No,
we mainly do most of our business through corporate and word of mouth type thing. But you know, the company is called Sky Frequency. We have www.com, skyfrequency.com. And we offer pretty much any kind of IT needs. We specialize in multi-location businesses, corporate events, things like that. So, you know, any kind of IT needs you may need, give me a shout.
Got you. Well, you know, we trying to see what he gonna do for this 40th.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm old, man. I'm old.
Are we invited?
He's older than me.
Can we come pod?
I'm thinking about something real laid back, like, you know, concert on Deer Island.
He talking about doing a sleepover. Concert on Deer Island. Something small and quaint.
Yeah.
Nothing heavy. Something light work.
Only. You know what I'm saying? Some eyes wide shut. You got to wear a mask in that thing. You know, we bring. Now he did
You
buy.
don't like it, swim back?
Now he did buy one of them big boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get him to go down to Crab Island.
Now, did you go fishing today? Were you out?
Yeah.
How did you do?
I did pretty good. I caught a Jack Crevalle, about 38 inch. That took me about 30 minutes to reel in.
That's because you got a baby
Ain't
body.
worth the shit eating, but you know, it's fun. And some speckled trout, so it was a fun time there.
Yeah. We ain't gonna hold you long. We about to eat ourselves.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's one of my big dogs. Always been good to me. You know,
Appreciate
you coming out, and y'all stay tuned. You know, Nick is the man behind the scenes.
Yes.
I'm gonna get him to invest in something. You know, we got some stuff. I know Lee Yancy said that it ain't going recreational. He kind of gave you a hint when it's gonna go recreational if you didn't catch it. So when it basically come off schedule, was it Schedule 1? He said.
Yeah.
Federal. Then I guess they're gonna change their mind. But until then, you know, y'all
better get that card.
Y'all smoke and toke responsibly.
Yes.
And understand what you're taking and why you're taking it. But like I said, we're podcasting from Shaggy's in Pascuchan, the harbor. It was a great day to fish.
Yes, it was.
And you know, like I said, Nick's my +1 white guy. So I take him anywhere I need to go.
Hey man, follow us online, man. We are here. We appreciate you. And until next time, man, it's your boy Lo
and Black.
And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
With 2 sugars.